Well, hello there, good people. Hi, Jason here at Green Country Agriforestry. I've got a drill in my hands, and that can only mean one thing. We're going to be doing some construction work today. Oh boy. These are worm bins, and of course this is how we make our wonderful worm compost, worm castings that after sifting we wind up using for seed starts and for supplementary fertilizer for young growing trees and other wonderful stuff. Okay, here is exactly what you're going to need. We've got two sturdy totes intact. These are 27 gallon, I think, tough totes. One lid. You don't actually have to have two lids. Whenever you buy them, they come with two lids. You may as well get two lids because lids break, totes break too. So as you go through time and things wear out, you're going to wind up probably wanting both lids eventually anyway. So inside of one tote, inside of one tote, this one here, you're going to place your bricks, right? And you don't have to have bricks. It could be just about anything. All right, all we're really looking to do is make sure that we have a surface here that will support the weight of a tub filled with worms and bedding. And the gap allows for our liquid material, leachate, to fall down and not have the entire bottom of the worm bed be just completely filled with leachate. Now, some people will install an arbor hurl down here and a spigot, but I'm lazy. Also, I'm bad on equipment. I have a tendency to kick spigots and break them off and things like that, so I gotta leave it just like it is. This is done. The bottom part now done. That's all you have to do. The top part's all you need to worry about here. Now, the top part's going to fit into the bottom part just like this, as you see. All right, a bit better than that, I would say. There we go. It was sticking. It's going to fit in here just like that. Now, as you can see, back there, there's a gap here where the bricks are. That allows the leachate to come out of the top tote. Yes, the color of the lid is different. I discovered that there was a problem with the other lid, and this is the other lid we've got. It's nice and bright yellow. You can't miss it, but it shouldn't make a difference to the worms. Now, kids, this is where you need an adult supervision or adult permission, that sort of thing, to borrow the power tools. But all you're going to need to do is put a hole right here, there, 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 just like this. And these holes right here are for the air to come in, so the worms can breathe. They also allow water to get in whenever it rains if your worm bin is outside. Just to be aware, if your worm bin is outside and it's raining, your bottom catchment is going to fill up with leachate very, very fast. Now, the leachate is still going to be nitrogen rich, a natural fertilizer, and you can use it in your garden. And a lot of people who have worm farms sell the leachate and call it worm tea. The leachate is not in fact worm tea. Worm tea would be made by taking worm castings and putting them in a fine mesh bag and suspending them in nice clear water, preferably rainwater or distilled water, and then bubbling them with an aerator and adding a sugar, probably molasses, to it, and steeping them in that for about 48 hours or so, so that all the bacterial organisms that are in the worm casting, the beneficial microbes, are caused to flourish, and then you can apply that to fortify the microbial life in the soil. Leachate is just liquid fertilizer, that's all it is. tote bottoms may vary. Just make sure when you put the holes in, they're at the low point. You could put them right here, but that would be, there'd be things collecting down here at the bottom. If you want everything to drain, just put it at the low point. All right. Now you may notice these holes are absolutely big enough a worm could escape through. Sometimes they do. What can I say? Sometimes they do. It happens. But we now have a prepared bin ready to receive guests. That's right. Probably they don't want this little bit of plastic in here. Why don't I just sort of dump that out real quick, okay? Just dump out the little microplastic. They probably don't want that. All right. There we go. Ready to receive guests. And all we need to do is add our bedding, which I have elsewhere. So let's move all of this, because it would be easier to move this to where the bedding is than to move the bedding to here and then move that to, you know what I'm saying. I have a gander over there where my coffee cup is, and the worm castings are. You can see that little tub. I've been soaking wood chips in with rainwater. Rainwater, oy. And they've been in there for a good 48 hours or so. So they're ready to go. We've got worm bins with worms already attached, ready to donate some of their material here. And I think right over here on the other side, under the shade of this pecan tree, we'll put our next little worm bin. This is outdoors. They go into the garage in the winter, and even though the garage is not insulated and it's not heated, it provides them all the necessary shelter they need to survive throughout the winter. And they survive throughout the winter on nothing but what's in the bedding. Dust and bark and leaves and things of that nature. Sifted fines from wood chips. Now that there's a space cleared under the pecan tree, I can bring our new worm bin in. Just set it down here. It's got a little slope here. Let's turn it sideways. There we go. I mean, there's still a slope, but I'm going to leave some space at the base of the pecan. I want it to be able to breathe. Alright, we've already cleared out the little plastic bits from the inside. We are ready to go, aren't we? Now we got our very, very soaked wood chips. They are actually still in the water, so I'm just going to pick them up and we're going to just drop them in. If you do it this way, you're going to have a very low pH leachate the first time around, because you get a lot of tannins leaching out of the leaves and bark and stuff like that. After that, the pH is going to come back to a more moderate level. I mean, it's not going to be like melt your face off acidic or anything. Just be aware that your first leachate is better for things like your blueberry and your azaleas and stuff like that than plants that prefer a more neutral or base pH. Now, while that is working, let's go ahead and get to doing some sifting of our previous worm castings. We've got a basic screen here, 1/4-inch hardware cloth, 2x2s, nailed together at the ends. It's lasted for, well, a couple of years now, and it's still here. It still works. Oh, they're there. I have put them behind you. Sifting is simple. This is a large concrete mixing tray that I'm using. Concrete mixing tray to catch everything. Basic screen. The bedding, started out as sifted fines, wood chips. So you're still going to see bits of wood chips in it, right? And then to that we added all our kitchen scraps, we added all the weeds, you know, everything that we had along the way that the worms ate. They got big on. Look at that. And then they gave us their castings. And we still have some of these what's in here are clumps of castings. Just clumps together. So I'm just going to run my palm across everything, breaking it all up. There we go. At the end of it all, we're left with a few twigs, a few sticks. That's going to go right over into the new worm bin. And then we'll sift some more. Ooh, some more worm castings here. Oh, I almost went a little bit too far over there. I spilled a little bit. I spilt a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll all survive. Oh, there's a bit of a chicken bone from Chicken and Dumplings a year ago. There you go. There's another piece. It's almost, see, it's almost crumbled all to nothing. But that was Chicken and Dumplings, about a year ago. Chicken and Dumplings. The remains of Chicken and Dumplings. You get those leg quarters on sale in the freezer section at the discount grocery. You put them up in the freezer until you're ready to use them. About the middle of the winter, crack one of those bags open, thaw it out, start cooking down those leg quarters that you just spent pennies on the dollar on, and you make the most wonderful chicken dumplings. Oh my goodness. Get you all the way through winter on that. And this is it. Oh, what's this? That's a piece of charcoal. That's a piece of hazelnut shell that I charcoaled in the little pellet stove. It didn't break up into fine enough material to pass through the screen. Well, one day it will. Slowly become part of the landscape as it passes through the screen, through the worm, through the duck, through the corn, through the man. And what we're left with here, guys, you cannot buy this stuff. Well, I guess you could, but you'd be paying way too much for it, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as what you can just make for yourself for free, guys. This is free. This is the best seed start mix in the world. The best top dressing in the world. I mean, really, this is the best stuff you can possibly get right there. And you just, poof, yeah. Yeah, let's make some more. We are almost done with that initial drainage. It's slowing down quite a bit here. I'm going to take all of our old bedding that we sifted, and I'm just going to sprinkle our calcium and grit source in here. That goes in there. So we got new bedding on the bottom, old bedding on the top. We got calcium and grit in there. Let me put this over to the side. We got food for worms. Yeah, that's right. It is our weeds, just weeds here. Food for worms. And here is some of the stuff from the duck pond that we seined off. Yeah, now that's wet and smelly. That's quite wet and smelly. So we're just going to put that in there. And we're going to mound all these fresh weeds on the top of it like that on the one side, right there. Just now, because of the low pH of that first leach, I put it right on the blueberries. They're going to love that. Now we just put the bricks right back in. And our worm bin is ready for use. So now we've got our new bin. It's got sifted, hydrated wood chips. It's got a source of grit and calcium and fun stuff for the worms. It's got food that has yet to decompose here on the top. that needs to decompose down, and then underneath it's got food that was seined off of the bottom of the duck pond. The ducks got to chew on it. It got waterlogged. It soaked. The ducks chewed on it. It got waterlogged. It sank down to the bottom. It got mixed up with a little bit of duck manure down there. We scooped that all off and we put it right there. The worms are going to love that, and that's going to be probably the first place that they go. But that gives us our initial food, and then a secondary source of food, and that's a root. And then of course they've always got the bedding to fall back on, so let's just go ahead and give this a light toss, and then take our worms that we just gathered and drop them on in there. A little mass of worms. A little mass of worms. Alright. And they are going to quickly get sorted out. We'll just watch what they do. And there they go. And drop a little more water. You can see how quickly they responded when they were like, ooh. They got wet and they were like, hey, let's move. They get really mobile whenever it's wet. The wetter it is, the more they move. You may notice this. They like to come out after the rain. They move around after the rain because it makes it easier for them to move around. They enjoy water. And it seems, from the look of things, that our worms are getting themselves worked in to their new bedding. So we're going to go ahead and leave them alone and let them carry on with the business of business. They're going to be making more baby worms. They're going to be consuming all this dead material. They're going to be working through that bedding and, of course, making more wonderful, wonderful worm castings for us. Hey, thanks all for watching. I hope you found today's video informative or entertaining, and if you did, well, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. Until then, get out there and get growing.